YouTube, let's weld some aluminium or aluminum depending on where you're from. And if you watch the mag test stand build, which I thoroughly recommend, it's as boring as all the other videos, you note that I was having a bit of trouble welding the thicker aluminium. Wasn't completely happy with it, and I kind of found this, I think it's 10mm, not quite ½ inch aluminium. With an old transformer machine, I was pushing a 3/32 tungsten to its limit. Probably with really good technique and preheat you could do it. I mean, I know I've said that a 3/32 tungsten will do most of what you want, but when you get onto thicker aluminum, I think maybe the size of your tool does matter. And yeah, I mean, I found this, and you can feel the weight of it, and I've ground it to a blunt taper. I get some more of this aluminium because I'd like to kind of get the welds looking a bit better. Tag it up, and we'll try getting some more heat into it with the 1/8 tungsten rather than the 3/32. And I won't preheat it in the name of keeping, you know, everything the same. We'll just see if it goes better. I won't change anything else. I'll bring you back in a minute when I've got some tacks on it. First things first, just swap out these torch parts. 3/32 tungsten gone. Actually, that's a 16th tungsten, and we will pop in the 1/8 if I can do it one-handed. Probably can. That's just a standard collet, so we'll just snug that up, and I'm going to put a standard number 6 regular ceramic on it, and we will attempt welding. Right, focus, you. Not going to have it. Here we go. I put a couple of tacks on there, and I made a couple of little adjustments. I got a blunt taper on my tungsten. It was still acting up. I think I had it ground a bit too much of a point. Really needs to suck some heat away. I've increased the cleaning action a little bit. I was going for quite a lot of negative cycle to try and preserve the tungsten, but that's not going to give me a nice shiny weld. I've got to use a manly tungsten, lots of heat, and a bit of cleaning action. I've given the metal a scrub, and we're going to go for it. Right, I am just getting some heat going here, letting the cleaning action get going, and starting to add rod when it gets moving. Now, problem I have with, you know, not being used to welding aluminium is that you try and hold a tight arc, which is a good thing always with TIG welding, but when you add the filler, I don't know, its surface tension thing isn't the same. The puddle flicks up. And yeah, you add more filler with aluminium, generally speaking, and the puddle goes up towards the tungsten. And if you want to hold a tight arc, you're going to have to be ready to raise the torch as you add filler, because you'll see me in a minute dip. This is going to happen too often. It happens too often to me. It really annoys me. You'll see when we look at the final weld, the two smoky lines where I dipped. So that's something I've got to work on. It's just slightly different technique for thick aluminium and thin other metals. Anyway, got to the end without actually, you know, ruining too much. And I think it is starting to look just slightly better. So we'll see how it looks.
Alright, so look at that. You can see the two places where the electrode came in contact with the puddle. That is just my bad technique. As you add filler to aluminium, you need to move the torch up a little bit and then go down again with a tight arc into the new leading edge of the puddle, if you like. Just bad technique. I'm so used to welding thin stuff and holding a tight arc. I don't do well on thick aluminium. I'm always dipping tungstens, but just for the purpose of this exercise I carried on. We'll just have to brush the soot off. And come back. Alright, still not pretty. I'm gonna just clean up the other side. I might have still a bit more cleaning action and still a bit more gas. You know what, I'm going to try a bigger cup and a bit more gas flow. Tungsten's holding up better. I'm not struggling with the heat, which is something. That's kind of one focus, but it's formed a shiny focus. It's formed a shiniest ball-ish ball without too many nodules and bits growing on it. So that's holding up better than the 332nd for sure. Alright, I've gone for a bit bigger cup. I've upped the gas flow a bit. Haven't cleaned the tungsten, it's holding up okay, although you can't see it because this thing won't focus. See what happens. Okay, it is going a bit better this time. But I'm still not happy with either the gas coverage, the cleaning action, or my prep of the metal. There's something going on at the edges of the weld. There's oxide layer being pushed around rather than cleaned up by the AC cycle, or maybe I haven't done good enough prep on the metal. You'll see the edges don't look quite wetted in when we look at it. I got enough heat going. I actually ran around the whole thing with another pass just for practice. We'll take a look at it. Alright, I just welded around that and blasted it with loads of heat. In my humble opinion, it did get better. Slightly bigger cup, slightly more gas, a little bit longer arc so I wasn't stubbing the electrode, and a bit more heat. Again, I didn't let it cool completely between passes, so the preheat has helped. And I don't know, I'm slowly learning. It is improving. I think my prep could be better, my cleaning action could still have a little bit more, but I'll keep practicing, we'll get there.